Hi and welcome back to the channel. We got another box. This was only ordered because I'm pretty sure components of this guitar are being shared with another manufacturer that we just did a review on. So we're going to open it up and see how close it is. The box did come in good shape. It's well taped. I don't see any damage to the box. And taped to the headstock. Looks like we've got a truss rod tool and the typical Radio Shack cord. The box, it looks like the neck supports are broken. So it's not fully encapsulated in the foam, and there is no gig bag. Let's see how close this is to a guitar we just reviewed. Does that look familiar? And we have a silica pack on the strings. Now right off, I can already tell the roasting on this guitar neck is much deeper than the last one. But the CNC program that carved this neck is exactly like the Groat. This is a Volgoa. It's very pretty. Looks like we got a volume, a tone. That is a three-way switch there. And then a three-way switch there. And it is a fixed bridge. So as we always do, we're going to put this guitar on the bench and we're going to give it a once over. We're going to go over every aspect of this guitar. Okay, let's go over the fit and finish on the guitar. We're going to inspect the guitar, see if we see any issues, dents, dings, scratches, anything that we see that might be a manufacturing flaw. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the top. And there is a binding here. And it doesn't say on the site, but by looking at this, I'm going to assume it's three pieces. It's a mahogany body, most likely a piece here, and then a veneer top. The round over here is probably 3/16. It's got a nice little round over. And the top of the guitar is completely flat. There is no arm cut right here. It is flat. And the top binding feels smooth all the way around. I don't feel an edge. We have a standard strap button there. The line here to the neck pocket is nice and straight. And the same back here. The rear pocket line to the neck is also straight and true. It's nice routing. That's very nice. The routes for the pickups, that's a hard edge. Where the body goes into the route, there's no relief. But there's no chipping. It looks well done. The rear one looks good as well. And the pickups, they're setting pretty true. Just moving them around a little bit. They're setting decent. This one sets to the rear just a little bit, but that's because of the way the springs are holding the pickup. I've seen that on a couple guitars. Sometimes you can loosen the screw and just kind of move it around a little bit and get that spring to set differently, and then the pickup will sit better in the hole. It is a fixed tailpiece. It is directly screwed to the body. And the tailpiece looks nice. I am seeing something here on the tailpiece. If you look at the adjusters, all these adjusters are setting up above the saddle. And they do have a sharp edge. Now what you can do here, you can order different screws that are shorter, and then you can reset your action height exactly the same. That way that screw is setting down below the top surface of the saddle. So these are protruding out a little bit. The rear of the bridge looks good as well. Little Phillips screws to adjust your intonation. And there's 5 screws on this bridge. I like that instead of just 4. That's gonna transfer the resonance into the body very well. The knobs, there's a nice knurling on the knobs. This knob here feels tight. There's a tight spot. It's smooth and then gets tight right there and then gets smooth again. So we're going to have to look at that when we pull the back cover off. See what's going on there. This knob, it's smooth on its whole travel. So this one's nice. Then we have a little switch here. And this is a 3-way switch. So I'm not too sure how that's wired. Again, we'll have to look at that when we look at the electronics. But it's either a phase switch or a coil tap. And then here, it's just a 3-position switch. And this switch feels really good. It's got a nice positive feel to it. That's nice. We'll have to see if it's a PC board switch or the other style. On the back side of the guitar, we do have a belly carve here. 4 screws holding the neck on. I'm not seeing any polishing compound anywhere. So the guitar is clean. We have 6 furls here for our strings. And they are inset to the body just a little bit. Looks like they're all pretty consistent except for this one. This one's a little higher than these. Not by much. 64th. It's pretty good. And our cover's sticking up just a fraction here. And there's a lot of distance between these 2 screws. Yeah. There is a gap right here where the cover does not follow the body line of the route. It's a little off. And a little bit of a gap. And there is a chamfer here in the body. And then everywhere else it has the same round over as they put on the top of the guitar. The jack, looking at it, the radius of the plate does match the radius of the body, so there's no gaps there. So that looks nice. Alright, let's look at our neck. Check the frets and how the two-piece neck feels. The frets feel good. There's no sharp edges. And that's due to these being the ball-end frets. It is two pieces. So this is a roasted maple neck with a maple cap. And they do have placement dots on the top right here. And that feels nice as well. I don't feel the seam there. It's nicely done. The back of the neck is a satin or a matte finish. And I do feel a little bit of the grain. It is very smooth, but you can feel the contour in the grain. And again, this is a pretty chunky neck. I'm going to say that this is a D-shaped neck again, more like a Gibson's 50s. And it does have a little bit of a lip here. And there is no angle to the headstock. It is straight to the neck. So our finish on our headstock feels really nice. Not seeing any issues. Everything looks nice. And something I am seeing. The string tree on this one is the one with the little bearing wheels on it. And they've only used one. So that is an upgrade versus the last guitar that we reviewed that, in my opinion, this is the exact same neck that is on the Groat. It's the exact same neck. All they did was apply the Volgoa headstock label, and they used a different string tree. Oh, and something else, they're using a different tuner. And I'm going to say this is the best tuner feel that I've felt on a budget guitar. These things feel really good. When I tuned the guitar, I was highly impressed with the tuners. And on the back, they are branded Volgoa. So I don't know who's making those tuners, but they're definitely nice tuners. Our dots up here are again extremely pretty dots. The placement dots on the top of this guitar are just sharp. And the neck on this guitar is a little darker. So I don't know if they've applied a stain or if they just roasted it more. But it is darker. The fret feel. The frets are very nice. These guitars are constantly impressing me as far as the fretwork. it is actually starting to get stupid good for these sub $300 guitars. I have spent $1,200 on guitars and really not get the fretwork and fret feel that this guitar has. It's very nice. The routing here for the truss rod adjuster is very clean. I don't see any tear out. I don't see any glue. A lot of times on these inexpensive guitars or budget friendly guitars, when they put the top cap on here, this is the spot they miss on the back of the neck. You'll see a glue line or glue where they stained it and didn't sand it off enough, and the stain didn't go into the neck properly. This one is nice. That's well done. Everything looks really good on this guitar. It's very impressive. Okay, I'm going to move the camera. We're going to put the camera on top of the guitar. And we're going to check our intonation and our first fretted note. See how this thing came from the factory. Okay, I have the guitar up on our bench, and I've already done a quick tune on it. They're not perfect, so I'll probably have to make a couple little adjustments here and there. But let's start with our low E. On the 12th. Open. 12th. I'd say it's probably a fraction high. Let's check our first fretted note. The low E is the hardest string to get. Open. First fretted note. Let's check our A. A on the 12th. Seems to be a fraction high. Open. 12th. It's very close. Let's try our A first fretted note. A open. First fretted note. It's a little better than the E, but still high. There's our D. D on the 12th. Open. 12th. I'd say that one's pretty good. D open. Nope, it's falling off. Let's check that again. There we go. Let's try our 12th. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's try our D on the first fretted note. And that one is pretty good. It's high, but it's pretty good. Open. First fretted note. There's our G. G on the 12th. Open. 12th. open, 12th, I'm going to say it's a fraction on the low side. Let's try our first fretted note. And that one is high. Let's go to our B. B on the 12th. Open. B on the 12th. That one is on the low side. First fretted note. It's a little high. Let's go to our high E. High E on the 12th. And again, a little on the low side. First fretted note on the high E. And that's the best one on the guitar. So a little bit of nut work to get the first fretted notes on this guitar right. It's not the worst that I've seen. I would put this guitar probably a little above average to average on first fretted note. Okay, again, I'm going to move the camera and we're going to check the neck relief and the factory action height. Okay, let's check out our neck. I have a 12-inch radius gauge here. And it is 12 inches at the base. 12 at the 12th. And 12 up top. So it is a 12-inch radius neck. It is not compounded. It's 12 all the way across. Let's check out our neck relief. And this guitar does have some relief. I'm going to say that's pretty close to a 1/2 millimeter, maybe a little more. So it does have a little relief from the factory. Now I got to find my Stumac gauge. Now we're going to check our action height on the 12th. And again, I'm bad for influencing the strings, so I'm going to keep my thumb out of the way. And this one's set on the low E at 0.070 at the 12th. And the high E is also set at 0.070. So they have it consistent on this one. So I'd say it's pretty good. That's an average factory setup. So our next step is we're going to turn the guitar upside down. We're going to look at the electronics cavity. Okay, I have the guitar flipped over. We're going to take the screws out and look at the electronics. This cover seems like it's pretty tight. I might have an issue. Oh, no. There's no shielding tape on the back of the cover. Looks like a single ply black. And this looks like the exact same switch that we saw in the Grote. And that solder joint there doesn't look too good. I'm sure it functions, but it just doesn't look too good. So these pickups are definitely set up to where you can coil tap them. We have that other switch over here. Let's see what we can find with that switch. So it's just on the red. So they've taken the white and the red, put them together, and then brought them over to this switch. And then this one, from the volume, has a single white. So that's what it's doing. It is dropping a coil. So that is definitely a coil switch. And it looks like we have a tone bleed capacitor right here, green one. And again, some of the solder joints look good, and then some of them just look like they stacked everything. They made a connection, then another connection on top of that connection. This connection here definitely was a stack. I could see a nice puddle underneath here, and then it looks like they tried to heat this side and then attach this wire to the top. And we have the micro pots as well, just like the Grote. I would say this is the exact same electronic, same pots. It's definitely the same switch as the Grote. Let's take a look at our jack. Let's spin the guitar so you can see the jack better. Yeah. Exact same jack we're seeing in the Firefly, the Grote, and in this one. This solder joint here, really good. This one's okay. Much better than some of the ones in there. And we are seeing a little bit of compound here. And it comes right off. The bore is decent. Yeah, that's the exact same jack we've been seeing. Okay, I have the guitar plugged into a multimeter. We're in the bridge position on humbucker, and we're reading 9.13. So we put it in single coil mode. Now we're reading 4.61. Put it back in humbucker. Let's take it up to our neck position. And our neck position in humbucker mode is reading 7.47. When we switch that to single coil mode, it's reading 3.73. Let's check out our center position. So in our center position, if we split the coil on the bridge humbucker, we get 2.86. And then if we split the pickup on our neck position, we get 2.66. And then both as humbuckers, we get 4.14. Alright, I'm going to go into squirrel mode and reattach everything, and then it'll be time to plug this guitar into the amplifier. Okay, let's flip this guitar over and plug it into the amplifier. Okay, I have the guitar plugged into my rack mount amplifier, and we're on the bridge position. Everything's all the way up, and we are in humbucker mode. Now I'm going to switch the humbucker to a single coil. Going to go to the center position, both in humbucker mode. Center position, we're going to split them into single coils. Bridge position, humbucker. Bridge position, single coil. Go back to the bridge position. We're going to go to humbucker, do some basic lead stuff. split it to a single coil. Center position humbuckers. Both pickups split as single coils. Neck position humbucker. Neck position single coil. Now we're going to put a little dirt on the amplifier. Okay, I have the amplifier set to the crunchy channel. We're just going to do some basic 12 bar blues. We are in the bridge position and in the humbucker mode. Exact same thing, but we're going to switch it to a single coil. If I can play it right. I'm going to go to the center position. This is going to be both pickups in single coil mode. Exact same position, but we're switching them to humbuckers. Neck position. We're going to start out in single coil mode. Now we're going to switch it to humbucker mode. My apologies, my GoPro camera cut off again. We're on the crunchy channel and we're just going to do some basic lead work. We are in humbucker mode and we are in the bridge position. We're going to switch it to single coil mode. Now we're center position in single coil mode. Let's go to humbucker mode. Bridge position in humbucker mode. To single coil mode. Now we're going to go to the dirty channel and see what we can get. Okay, I have my amplifier switched over to the dirty channel. We're in the bridge humbucker mode. Let's switch it to single coil, and there is some noise coming from the amplifier in single coil mode. Center position humbucker. Switch it to single coil mode. Bridge position, single coil mode. Humbucker mode. Now let's just do some noodling around. We're in the bridge position, humbucker mode. What are my final thoughts on this Volgoa? It is definitely using the exact same neck that the Grote guitar that we previously reviewed on the channel. It's using the exact same neck. The fine tuners on this guitar are probably the best tuners I felt on a sub $600 guitar. They are very nice. Great tuners. The pickups in the guitar have a nice chimey sound. You can get some telly sounds out of it, a couple strat sounds, and they also work really well with a lot of heavy distortion. So it seems to be a pretty versatile guitar with this switch right here, being able to take these humbuckers and put them into single coil mode. So it's quite versatile. It has a lot of sustain due to this fixed bridge being bolted directly to the body. It does have a lot of sustain. It is a little bit noisy on the single coil, but it's not horrible. The neck feel, like I said, I've started to get used to the thicker neck. It is a little on the chunky side. So if you don't like thick necks, this probably isn't the guitar for you. It does have a chunkier neck, but it's very comfortable to play. I play very thin necks. I play shred necks, and I don't have a problem playing this guitar. I adjusted to it within 5 or 10 minutes. It's nice. The fit and finish on this guitar is really good. The only issue that we had was this tone knob. It does get a little firm mid-stroke, and I did check the knob to see if it was rubbing the body, and it is not. It is actually in the pot, but it functions fine. Same with the volume. Now the volume is smooth all the way across, but overall, that one little issue with the knob is really the only thing that I see with the guitar. It is just a really nice guitar. And for this price point, it's kind of hard to beat. It's a nice guitar. Anyway, if you like this kind of content, please hit the like button. And if you would, and you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. When I see the subscriber count going up, it makes me feel good. It makes me know that I am doing what you guys want to see, and the reviews. You know, do you like the reviews that we're doing? Trying to do a broad range of different instruments, you know, from more budget-friendly guitars to more expensive guitars. We've done a little bit of everything here. So please hit the subscribe button. And for those that have already subscribed, thank you so much. Like I said, it makes me feel good when I see that number going up. Anyway, thank you for clicking on this video, and I hope you found the information in it useful.